So when we talk about health and how to get healthy in the body, we have to talk about detoxification. In order for you and your body to heal, you have to detoxify what's inside of your body. Your body is a living vessel, and when your body accumulates all this waste, all this dis-ease in the body, that's when you get sick, the body gets sluggish, and you start to break down. But when you clean out your body and you begin to detox and you begin to cleanse out your temple, your energy levels come back, your skin begins to clear, your eyes get bright, your hair gets strong, your sleep gets better, your energy levels rise, everything begins to get better. And the Most High God has made it very, very easy for us to be able to cleanse our body through our bowels, first and foremost. That's the biggest form of cleansing, is through your bowels. In fact, the majority of your stool in your bowels is bacteria. So if you get a bacteria infection, which some schools of thought think that viruses don't exist and that all things are bacteria, but if you get a bacterial infection, the best and first thing that you want to do is get your bowels moving so that it can excrete the pathogens. So the bowels are the biggest role to play in this, but not just the bowels, the urinary tract, the lungs. Yes, that's right, through your breath. Most of us are breathing very, very shallow. We don't even know how to breathe. We don't even realize that 80% of our energy yield comes from oxygen. Only 20% comes from food and water. And very few of us know how to breathe properly. We all breathe very shallowly and very, very irregularly and very, very rapid instead of a nice, because we haven't been trained to breathe. You know, we don't know certain breathing exercises like the Ujjayi breath or pranayama, or how to move the Ruach HaKodesh through us, or we don't really realize that the breath inside of us is the Spirit of the Most High God moving through us, and that when we attribute the power of God to the breath that's moving through our lungs, you will experience a level of health and wellness and trance that you have never experienced before. This is where the foundation of all biblical meditation takes place, is in the breath, in the Ruach HaKodesh, to activate that trance state so that you can then enter that trance state and put yourself in a trance to have a vision with God. Sometimes it'll come on naturally or gradually, but let it be known, all these prophets who are having these visions are special trained. Every single one of them has their senses honed. They are very well disciplined. So lungs, lymph, you got to move the body. You got to know how to move the lymph in the body. You got to know how to get the lymphatic system moving, and the best way, of course, is movement. Massage is great, but not just any movement, because we can't all afford massages. So movement is great, but not just all movement. It's really the jumping, the bouncing, the cardiovascular, the cardio, the aerobic activity, the plyometric activity. This is the best for getting the lymph moving. And the spleen. These are the way that your body detoxifies. And there are ways to get your body back online so that you can heal full circle. There are ways for you to get your detoxification system online. Okay, number one is through your food. The food's the biggest thing. The food is the biggest thing. You are what you eat. You have to clean up your diet. There is no way around it. There's only so many things that you do control. There's only so many things that you do control. So one of those things that you do control is the choice of what you eat today, what you eat every day. And this choice is linked to so many other habits that can be either good or be bad, because it can be linked to laziness, procrastination, etc. and so forth. Because let's say, oh, I should have made this, I should have prepped my food, I should have thought ahead, but because I didn't, now I'm just going to go get this from McDonald's. So that is, and then that's going to spiral even worse, because now you're getting all this excess trash in your system that's not breaking down, that's causing your body to shut down and compost itself. Whereas, and then that's tied to the laziness, the procrastination, the lack of planning, the mental fog. It all plays in this vicious cycle. So food is very, very important. You have to change what you eat. You have to eat healthy. You have to drink clean water. You have to drink 70 ounces, 70% of your body weight in ounces of water a day. And it needs to be clean water. It needs to be electrified. It needs to have minerals in it. It needs to have high quality salt in it. It needs to be remineralized by that salt so that the water can actually get into the cell and you can actually become hydrated. And then we're not even getting into the teas, the nettle tea infusion, the ashwagandha, the astragalus, the different herbal teas, right? So you need to drink. You need to exercise every day. And you don't need to see it as a chore. You need to see being active as a way of life. It has to be a lifestyle. You have to learn how to fall in love. Yes, if you can fall in love with the resistance training, you will be way better off because you will have more lean muscle mass than most people. And lean muscle mass is the buffer for all dis-ease in the body. And if you have more lean muscle mass, your body can become way more healthy and help you fight off disease and illness and sickness and keep your energy levels high and your brain and cognitive function high, because lean muscle mass can be used as a buffer to balance and increase homeostasis in the body easier. So if you can fall in love with resistance training, that's great. Yoga is also very awesome. Yoga is an incredible modality. That's the only one that we know that can twist and stretch and sponge out those sponge-like glands of your endocrine system and your spleen, your kidneys, and all the different glandular systems along the spinal column, which are actually the 7 spirits of Elohim, which is actually the temple layout. It's the human body. Did you know that the temple of Moses is built around the architecture of the human body, that the outer court is the loins and the solar plexus, the holy place is the thoracic cavity, the chest, the veil is the throat, the most holy place is your cranium. The 2 angels over the Ark of the Covenant are the 2 hemispheres of the brain. In the Ark of the Covenant is the hidden manna, the 2 tablets, the budding staff of Aaron. That is the central nervous system and the inner workings of the brain, the cerebral, the frontal cortex, the cerebellum, the pineal gland, etc., and so forth. And in the center of those 2 cherubim, the Lord God Almighty will meet you. That is the truth. That is the truth. So you need to move, you need to take care of your body, you need to get into daily habits, you need to make this a lifestyle. And there are things that can help, but these things have to be a lifestyle in your reality. And in fact, these things, when you begin to see that your life is your worship to God, that your body is the temple of the Most High God, and you are to make it pleasing to Him, and you are to be disciplined, because you can't have disciplined without disciple. And so we have a lot of Christians, we have a lot of Bible followers, but not many disciples, because no one is disciplined in the Christian church. Very few people are disciplined in the body of Messiah. And they do this and they do that, whereas the Father says, cut it off. They say in the Christian church, I have my sin, I do this, I do that. And they don't make it a very, very big issue, whereas the Father who was dwelling in Jesus, Yehoshua, Messiah says, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. And what he's saying is, he's saying it's so important for you not to sin and for you to make this a big deal, that if your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off. That's metaphorical. It could be Instagram. If Instagram causes you to lust and sin, delete Instagram. If you can't stop scrolling and looking at half-naked women and men, delete Instagram. Okay, whatever is causing you to stumble, it's so much more important for you to be sinless and for you to pursue holiness, without which no one will see the Lord, the Bible tells us, that you should just let it all go, and you should pursue it, and you should be zealous, and you should be extreme. It should be said about you that you are peculiar. It should be said about you that you are different. If you blend in with the world, you're not doing it right. If you don't set yourself apart and you're not obviously set apart, then you can't be following the Messiah. You can't be. He says, he who does not hate his wife or his husband or his children cannot follow me, meaning if you do not love me, if you do not see me in everything, and you love your children above me, and you see them above me, you can't possibly inhabit me, because I am all. I am the Godhead. I am Christ consciousness. And if you're not able to even hear these terms without feeling a certain way, that these terms are new agey, then I don't think that's where Messiah wants you. But who am I? And your health is very, very important, and those are the things that you control. So it's very, very important for you to get on that, and that's what I recommend. Let's get to it.